Hello, good morning. You are watching my video lecture that is Viral Disease Transmission in Plants. I am D. Rajashekar, lecturer in botany, Srimati Gangineni Kalyani Government Degree College, Vinikonda, Guntur district. We all know that viruses are obligate intracellular parasites. Without host, they cannot do anything on their own since they don't have a cell structure, cell organelles, metabolic activities, enzymes, etc. So, viruses get transmitted from one host to another by all passive transmission methods. That means viruses cannot get transmitted on their own, but with the help of some other factors, maybe like air, water, mechanical means, grafting practices, vegetative propagation methods, seeds, weed plants, parasite plants, nematodes, fungi, and insects. These are some of the vectors or factors by which viruses get transmitted. Hence, the viral transmission is called a passive transmission. Generally, we all know that crop plants are mainly infected by fungi, bacteria, and viruses. However, viral diseases are very easily transmissible than that of the any other pathogen. So here in this video lecture, we are going to learn all these methods by which viruses get transmitted. Firstly, mechanical transmission. Mechanical transmission means here the farmer who is growing or raising a crop is a direct or indirect source of viral transmission in his own crop. Actually, the gadgets he uses or the agricultural practices he has adapted, or he himself would be the main transmission, mechanical transmission method for viral diseases. Generally, farmers without much knowledge actually they use the gadgets, agricultural gadgets, so that the gadget which was used already for cutting a diseased plant may give that sap and the sap with the viruses to that gadget. The same gadget, if at all used by the farmer without proper cleaning to cut the healthy plant, automatically the sap with viruses on the gadget can transmit the virus from diseased plant to healthy plant. And another thing is when a crop is grown vigorously, the farmer which makes his entry into the crop may get the pollen grains of a diseased plant or other plant remnants either on his body or on his clothes whenever he moves to the place where all healthy plants are present. By accidental shaking of his clothes or his body automatically, I mean, transmits the viruses to the healthy plants. And another important thing is farmer always sanitizes his field to raise a new crop in the new season. But if he does not plow it properly, the remnants of previous disease plants remain in the crop field so that they would be a sort of contamination or transmission agent of viruses from the old crop to the new crop. Similarly, if at all without proper scientific knowledge, farmer sows seeds without maintaining a regular distance or the distance that should be maintained automatically when the plants grow tall because of gusty winds. Generally they get overlapped one above another, so that a sort of mechanical pressure is applied on the plant so that the viruses make their entry from diseased plant to a new plants or healthy plants. All these things come under mechanical transmission, generally happen by the farmer directly or indirectly in his own field by the gadgets he uses or improper agricultural practices or he himself. Generally, this type of viral transmission is generally expected uh, in the plants, which show mosaic type of symptoms. Then the grafting, we all know that we graft two plants, stalk or scion, stalk and scion, and to other plants in order to make new varieties with new characters. So when we are trying to graft two different plants, if we do not take properly care about the selection of plants, if at all one of the plants in the grafting practice is with a viral disease, automatically the virus present in one plant gets transmitted into the another without our knowledge. So that way also viruses get transmitted from one plant to another plant. This is mainly seen in the fruit plants and the flower giving plants, especially lemon, apple, roses, etc. And the third one is vegetative propagation. Certain plants are there, they reproduces by vegetative means, not by asexual or sexual methods. That type of reproduction is called vegetative propagation. Generally, plants like hibiscus, jasmine, potato, onions, turmeric, ginger, these are all raised by the vegetative propagation. We all know these different types of vegetative propagations like runners, torrents, suckers, offsets, etc. So to raise new plant, generally we don't have seeds. Just we take the mother plant pods so that we can raise a new crop. For example, take a potato. Potato is with a sunken regions called nodes. These are vegetative propagation helping pods. So just take a small cut of potato with the node. If you sow it, no, it will give a new plant. So if we use good stock, then we can get a disease-free crop. But if we don't know whether we are using, diseased stock or undiseased stock, no, there is every chance to get a new crop with a disease. That is why, while doing vegetative propagation, we must take care of selecting undiseased plants only. This is another method of passive transmission of viral diseases called vegetative propagation. Generally, it is done with happened with potato, sugarcane, etc. Generally, seed we know that it is an output of sexual reproduction. Seeds are the plant pods which can give new plants. Generally, viruses do not get transmitted through the seeds compared to that of the other methods because of various reasons, because of various unknown reasons. We can also attribute it to the moisture content in the seed. Generally, the moisture content in the seed is very little and very controlled, so that viruses may not exist in that. And moreover, in seeds, generally, metabolic activities are shut down, not completely, partially. So that these decreased metabolic activities may also hinder the viral growth and development. And moreover, they are very dry. That is why viral stock or viral population is more in the young seeds than that of the older seeds. In young seeds, we can expect a little more moisture content and uh, thoroughly growing metabolic activities. Whereas in the older seeds, we do not find all these things. That is one of the reason for viruses not existing in the seeds. But there are certain plant viral diseases which can also be transmitted by the seeds. Example, bean mosaic viral disease, ring spot disease, etc. And another one is weed plants through weed plants. Weed plants are the plants which can be seen in the farmlands, in the fields. They compete with the regular crop plants for all the essentialities. That way, they can decrease the growth and development of crop plants. It's a big threat for the crop plants. On the other hand, they also transmit certain viruses to the crop plants through them. So it is another important thing which must be kept in the mind by the farmer. So when he is growing something in his field, croplands, he must take care of the weed plants, mm, not in the field. There are certain plant diseases which can be transmitted by these weed plants, especially cucurbita, cucurbitaceae family members, and certain grass varieties. Do this type of passive transmission of viruses. And another important thing is parasitic plants. We all know that there are certain parasitic plants like complete stem parasite, partial stem parasites, complete root parasites, and partial root parasites. The best example for parasitic plants is Cuscuta reflex, belongs to the family Convolvulaceae. It is a complete stem parasites, which depends upon various host plants. Actually, they are popularly known as golden rods. They are leafless, and the golden yellow rod-like stems, can be seen growing on the canopy of host plants everywhere. These Cuscuta plants, inject Hostoria into the host plant up to the uh, water and food connecting tissues such as xylem and phloem, so that they get both water and food from the host plant. In turn, this parasitic plant transmits certain viruses through them to the host plant. And another one is nematodes, through nematodes, especially nematodes like Ziphinema, Langidorus, and Trichodorus. They belong to the family Dorlamidae. These nematodes are widely present in the soil. When they attack an unhealthy plant, they suck the sap of that unhealthy plant so that the virus remain in their mouth parts or on their body parts. When the same nematodes attack or infect the new plants or healthy plants, automatically they transmit the viruses present on their body parts or in their mouth to the healthy plants. Actually, nepoviruses, tuberoviruses get transmitted by these nematodes mainly. And the best example for nematode transmission are tomato black ring viruses, etc. And then you can see in the slide Cuscuta reflexa, a complete stem parasite which grows on different host plants. By the Hastoria, special structures of this Cuscuta, it gets food and water from the host. In turn, it gives disease-causing viruses to the host plant. Here in this slide, you can see different nematodes, which I have just mentioned, like Langidorus, Ziphinema, uh, Trichodorus, etc. And there are two other means by which also viruses get transmitted from one plant to another, from unhealthy plant to healthy plants. They are fungi and insects. Especially regarding fungi, Wolfidium brassicae, a single cell fungi, and Polymyxa graminis. These two fungal organisms are very popular regarding the viral transmission in the crop plants. Actually, these fungi attack, like in nematodes, on a healthy plant, an unhealthy plant. So they get, the virus particles from those unhealthy plants. When they re-attack another healthy plants, no, automatically, without their knowledge, they can introduce the viruses of the unhealthy plant to the healthy plant. Especially fungi like Polymyxa graminis causes viral diseases to the wheat plants, lettuce plants, etc. And another important transmission method is through insect. This is the very very important transmission methods of virus. We all know that insects are a big threat for any crop, and by different means they attack crops. We have also seen recently the attack of grasshoppers. In order to breed, they attack different crop plants and cause a lot of damage. So here there are different types of insects like thrips, mites, aphids, leaf hoppers, beetles, etc. Walker, a scientist, said that insects are the main agents for transmissions in the crop plants. All these insects generally they belong to the order Leptera, Hemiptera, and Diptera. Actually, they bite the crop plants. They have the chewing type of food habits or mouth parts, and there are some other viruses which suck the plant sap through proboscis. So, what would be the method of eating? Indirectly, they cause the viral transmission from one plant to another plant. There are two types of viruses that regard the viral transmissions. One is a circulated type of viruses, and another one is a propagated type of viruses. Generally, as soon as they enter into the mouth parts of the insects, the viruses remain as it is. Without undergoing replication process, they remain in the mouth parts of the viruses, insects. When these insects attack the new plant, then they get transferred into the new plant. These type of viruses are called circulated type of viruses. Uh, whereas the other viruses, which are called propagative viruses, when they enter into the mouth region of the insects, they undergo replication. These viruses also improves its population by replication process. Thereafter, they attack the new host plants. Actually, viruses stay, a while by being at rest. After the resting period only, they attack the host plants. The rest period is also called latent period. So even only after that resting period, these viruses get the pathogenic capacity or pathogenicity. It was already estimated different 50 types of aphids cause viruses transmit from one plant to another plant. In this slide, you can see on your left you can see that Wolfidium brassicae fungal organism. On the right, you can see different insects belong to the orders like Lepidoptera, Diptera, and Coleoptera. So in this video lecture, we have come across different viral transmission methods in crop plants. I hope you have understood the entire information given by me through this video lecture. When we meet in the another video lecture, I will give you the details of how can we control these viral transmission methods. Till then, bye. Have a nice time. Thank you.